Hi guys, I'm Cambro, and this is my channel where I'll be talking about the Pallid Mask, the new Mythos Pack for Arkham Horror, the LTG. This is the fourth Mythos Pack, which just released last week here in Sweden, I believe, or this week maybe. I haven't had chance to pick it up or had chance to do this video because I've been swamped with other stuff. So it's a little late this video. You might already have picked up this pack. But yeah, the Pallid Mask, the fourth Mythos pack. It's actually good. We won't be talking about this video, but they also announced Return of the Knight of the Salad. So it's like a revamped or new encounter card for the core scenario. So looking forward to that. And today also was the new deluxe box announced, the Forgotten Age. Um, so yeah, that's cool that we know where this will take place in the southern Mexico. But yeah, more on that when that comes out. So if is this your first time watching? I'll be going over the player cards in this Mythos pack, just stating my thoughts and what I think of them. Um, so let's just jump in and start. So Inspiring Presence. This is a card that was spoiled a long time ago, actually. It's a skill card, the Guardian card. Innate. Do we have another trait innate? We might have. So there's a willpower, intellect, and combat icon. If this skill test is successful, ready an ally asset at your location and heal 1 damage and 1 horror from it. Yeah, so since we're a bit late, there's already reviews on some of the cards, I realize. But yeah, as this review from Myriad states, this is very good for Beat Cup. Especially, I don't think I can write too. Yeah, I actually could. For Beat Cup 2, which you exhaust to do ping damage, this is really good. With the Beat Cup level 2, you can ping an enemy 3 times. With this card, you can ping it 4 times. Also, it heals the horror, which is the Beat Cup can usually only soak 1 horror, but with this you can soak another one. And the Guardian usually run low on the horror soaking spectrum, so that's very good. Another card it's very good for is Duke. Since you start with Ashcan Pete, you start with Duke in play. And if Duke dies, you are, well, let's say you have a hard time getting by then. So healing 1 damage and 1 horror from it's actually very good. Another part of this card is that you also ready the ally, which means you can ping it once again with the Beat Cup and investigate or attack with Duke, uh, putting Duke up to be able to attack or investigate 3 times each turn with Ashcan's ability. So that's really good. Uh, Definitely think you should take this in Ashcan, and a lot of Guardians probably like it. If you're running I'm currently running my Mark Pop to Carcosa deck, which has like 7 allies. So I think this will be an include in that. Brother Savior, sure you don't get ready, but you're healing 1 damage, 1 horror from it, so that's probably fine. Let's see, which allies do exhaust? How do you do this? Ally, and then exhaust. How do you spell that? Yeah, okay, so these are the ones that exhaust and are allies. Alicia, you probably don't want to do it on. Aquina, no. Cat Burglar, probably not. Um, I guess you could use it on David for some shenanigans, putting a lot of dooms on him immediately with Pete. With Pete, you can actually, with David, well, you need to still to do a test, but there's potential. I think definitely you run it in Beat Cup and Duke's deck. Yeah, So let's head on. I'll try to keep the pace up a little faster, but I know I say that every time, so never know. Next card. Mano a mano means hand-to-hand combat in Spanish, or mano is hand, at least in Spanish. So I guess it's like hand-to-hand. It's a guardian card, event, spirit bold, cost 0, resource 1 XP. Has a will, power, and combat. Combat icon. Play only as your first action. Deal 1 damage to an enemy engaged with you. This attack does not provoke attack of opportunity. So if you have played Netrunner, there are cards called Priority, which is basically this effect. You can only play it as your first action. So that means if you draw it, like you first action draw, you cannot play this card. So you have to start your turn with it, which might be a little bit inconvenient. Still, if another investigator lets you draw cards, like I can't think of any card right now. The one that lets you draw 3 cards from the core set, Seeker card. Yeah, there are ways to other investigator to help you draw a card. If you manage to draw it, then you can play it. So is it good? You do 1 damage, testless, and testless damage is always good. And if you combine this with stuff like Source Cross, Beat Cop, maybe Skid can run it with Sneak Attack. Sneak Attack level 2. Well, no, that doesn't really work because Mano a Mano you have to be engaged with him, and Sneak Attack you have to be unengaged with him. So probably not the best interaction. But yeah, Tesla's damage is really good. I mean, it's 1 XP, so definitely worth taking. Maybe not worth taking, but might be worth considering at least. Let's see. Do I have an egg? Oh, this guy has been doing his research. Yeah, beat cop like an ambush. Yeah, that's a really good point. Because if you're having like ambush discard, then you can take out a 3 health enemy without even testing anything against it. And with Source Cross, that's a 4 HP enemy. So yeah, Tesla's damage is always good, especially against bosses and like a bit stronger stuff. Yeah, let's head on. So this is First Aid, Guardian, Asset, Talent, and Science, and has 2 willpower icon, and it's 2 cost 3 XP. And if you have played the game, you probably know that we already have a First Aid from the core set. Then it's cost 2. It only had 1 willpower icon, and so let's read what it does first. Use 4 supplies. If First Aid has no supplies, discard it. Spend 1 supply, heal 1 damage, and 1 horror from an investigator or ally from your location. And the original just had 3 supplies. You spend 1 supply to heal 1 damage or horror from an investigator at your location. So now we have 1 more supply. You heal damage and horror, which is really, really good. And you can do it on allies, which is so good. Because then you can heal your beat cup to infinity, or like 4 times. Yeah, I think this card is actually worth playing now. This is how we fix a card. This is like when I'm teaching the game to new people, and they're like, "Should I take First Aid?" I'm like, "No, it's way too slow always, because you're spending 1 action to put it down, and then another action to heal 1 damage. That's no, I don't like the original First Aid. I think it's bad. But this one, I think it's good. I think it's really good. The fact that you can heal allies on your location, so you can heal Duke if you're running with a Ash Campete. Ash Campete can't take this because it's level 3 card. But just healing your beat cop, exhausting him, pinging, oh yeah, that's really good. So yeah, Mark Harrigan also likes it since he doesn't want Sophie to flip. So that's, yeah, I'm putting this in my Mark deck because you never want to be below 5 HP with Mark. So yeah, first aid level 3. Didn't think I'll say that I was intrigued to play first aid. So we got 3 Guardian cards, unless, no, the Eureka. Yeah, so this is our first Seeker card. It's a skill card, the same as the first Guardian card. Innate, so it's the other one. I think, let's see, do we have this trait before, or is it just in this pack? No, okay, never mind. We have had it before. That's how much I know about the game, apparently. So it's a skill seeker with willpower, intellect, and agility icon. If this skill test is successful, the investigator performing this test searches the top 3 of his or her deck for a card, draws, and shuffle his or her deck. Yeah, so it's kind of like a book of lore effect. You get to draw the top 3, pick one and draw it, and shuffle the other ones back in. But it's a skill, so it doesn't really slow you down. Because even if with Book of Lore you have to put it down and you have to spend an action to play it. Sure, if you're playing it in Daisy, you're not necessarily spending an action, but still, it's a bit slower. It costs 3. Then we also have what is it called? It's from the Buff of Carcosa. No stone on turn. Yeah, that lets you choose 6 cards. Of course, it's better to look at 6 cards than the 3, but since you're not really spending tempo to play this, it's kind of good. Another thing to be aware of is that even if you as the Seeker player commit this to another player, that player is the one that looks at the 3 cards. So you can help your teammates to go through their deck a bit faster, which is good. Ming probably likes it since it's a skill test, so it will be, except for combat, it'll be 2 skills for that. Yeah. This mirrored guy or girl has beaten me to every card already. So let's move on. So shortcut, that's an old favorite. So if you have played the shortcut is from the core, right? Might be from the Dunwich actually. Yeah, it's from Dunwich actually. Yeah, so this is shortcut. It's a seeker event, cost 1 and 2 XP. Has an willpower, intellect, and agility icon. Fast, play only during your turn. Attached to your location. Attached location gains exhaust shortcut move. Whoa, that is so good. And you move to a connecting location. So the original shortcut it was fast, you played it on your turn, you got to move for free. So you're saving 1 action. It let you, if a guardian like Roland had this, he could shortcut into an enemy, punch him 3 times. But it was a one-time effect. This shortcut you attach to your location, and that doesn't go away for, well, unless the location goes away or some other reason I can't really think of right now. This card is staying. And when you have done this, sure, you're paying 1 resource for it, but then when you have played it, you can exhaust it and move away. But then the next turn, if someone else goes to that location, they can exhaust shortcut and move for free. And if you're putting like 2 shortcuts on 2 connecting location, you could shortcut, and that is really good. I mean, sure, it's definitely better in some scenarios. In like the Miskatonic Museum, I think it's really good in the exploratory activities. Probably good. Probably not so good in the train. But yes, scenarios where you have like a midpoint where you're going back to a lot, then this will be really good. I think it will be good in like almost every scenario still. Even on the train, it wouldn't be the worst card. I mean, yeah. I don't see no reason not to pack this. This is so let's compare it to Pathfinder. So Pathfinder came in the Dunwich Legacy. It costs 3, 1 XP. You exhaust it during your turn if you're not engaged with an enemy, and then you move to a connecting location. Sure. So it's 2 more to play, but it's 1 XP less. Pathfinder goes with you, and only you can use it, and shortcut stays on your location, so everyone can use it. So I'm not thinking shortcut level 2 will replace Pathfinder. I think you'll just play all of them, or like both of them, because they're so good. Yeah. Yeah, you'll save so many actions. Your entire group will save a lot of actions with this card. This might actually be one of the best cards, like in terms of action efficiency. I mean, if you start with this, oh yeah, no, it'll be very very interesting to try this card out. I'm very very. I mean, it gets worse in bigger maps, like which is our biggest map? Maybe something like the Midnight Mask, the second one in the core. But still, even then, you're going back to a lot of the same locations. Yeah, it'll be really exciting to try this one out. Let's move on. We're already 15 minutes in, and we're moving quite kind of fast. Watch this. So it's another skill. So we're having a lot of skills in this pack. It's a rogue skill event, gambit trait, willpower, combat, and agility icons. So there's a lot of icons on all these skills. Very good. Commit only to a skill test you're performing. As an additional cost to commit, watch this to a skill test, spend up to 3 resources. If successful by 1 or more, gain twice that many resources. So this is an interesting one. You're like you're actually gambling. This is gambling as like as clear as it can be. So our other gambits card, I think it's probably double or nothing. That's probably a gambit card, right? Do we have another? No. Oh. Double. What's double or nothing then? A fortune. Okay. So finding hard to like justify how good this is. You need to succeed by 1 or more, which is interesting. They usually by 2 or more in row cards, but I think that would be make it too bad. If you're testing like something easy like 1 or 2, and you're at 4 committing this, and you'll be at 5. So even with a -2, you'll still succeed by 1. Do you want to spend up to 3 resources then? Maybe. Depending on how rich you are. If you play double or nothing, how will that work? I get. If successful, gain that many resources. Result effective. Yeah, I guess if you double or nothing, watch this, you'll get 6 resources if you spend 3. That sounds good. Yeah, from +3 to +9. So I mean, spending 3, then if you succeed by 1, then you're getting 3 back, which is an emergency catch, which is good. But a rogue doesn't usually struggle with money, so yeah, I'm finding it very hard to know how good this card is just by reading it. Let's see. Will this guy help me? Yeah. I'm finding it hard. I might have to try this out. I'm not. Who would like this? Skid? Maybe. Janet probably not, since she's getting 2 resources every turn. So you might want to save the deck slot for something else. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just move on. This is the 41 Daring, so it's another core card? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a core from the core set. Oh, nope, okay. Yeah. So the 41 Daring, it's a rogue asset, item, weapon, firearm, illicit, cost 3 and 2 XP, combat and agility icon, uses 3 ammo. Action, spend 1 ammo, fight. You get +2 combat for this attack. If successful with 1 or more, this attack deals +1 damage. Once per turn, if you succeed by 3 or more, you may take an additional action this turn. So the original one had the same cost, the same ammo, you got +2, but if you succeed by 2 or more, it dealt 1 extra damage. This one, you still get +2, but you only need to succeed by 1 or more, same as watch this, to get the +1 damage. If you succeed by 3 or more, you take an additional action this turn. Yeah, I think we also have to include Switchblade for this, Switchblade level 2. So Switchblade level 2, it's a fast, you get +2. If you succeed by 2 or more, it deals 1 extra damage. I don't think this is good. Rogue has, to begin with, Rogue has so many cards which cost XP. They have the dice, they have the pocket watch, they have the one that gets 10 resources, they have Sure Gamble, they have the Chicago Typewriter, which is like 2 more XP than this, and I would say much better. So yeah, I don't, because succeeding by 3, because you could date this anyway. It'll be the the core investigators and no, the rogue investigators. Skid will go to 5 combat, and the other ones will go to 5, and she'll go to 4. So succeeding like 5 combat. There's someone else who can take it. I can't think of who it is right now. It's Daisy, right? Yeah, but Daisy doesn't want it at all. No, not Daisy. The Wendy. Yeah, she'll go to 3. So forget about that. So if you're playing Skid, you'll get up to 5. Maybe you have beat Cup Zero at 6. And unless you're fighting something like, I mean, even if you're fighting something at combat 1, if you draw something higher than -2, you will not get that extra action. So, and how often are you fighting something at combat 1 except rats, maybe? So let's say you're fighting something at 3 and you're at 6. Then you have to draw 0 to get that extra action. No, I don't think this is good. And the fact still stands, you only have 3 ammo compared to the Switchblade, which has infinite ammo. Sure, you have to succeed by 2 instead of 1, but still, it's faster, it's fast, it's cheaper, just more reliable. 3 ammo is not a lot. Yeah, probably will be in my folder forever. Let's continue. Torment of Power. So we continue this skill trend. So this is Mystic skill practice. It has a wild icon. As an additional cost to commit Terror of Power to a skill test, spend up to 3 charges from among as you control. For each charge spent this way, Torment of Power gains willpower and the wild icon. So if you commit this, you can spend up to 3. You can spend 0 charges because it's up to 3. So that way you would just get a wild icon. With Bang you get 2 wild. I mean, sure, it's probably not worth it, but it can maybe save your test sometimes. If you're committing 1 charge, you're getting up to 3 willpower icons and an unexpected courage in all the other stats, like 2 combat or 2 agility. If you're spending 2, then you're 5, and at 3, you're at 7 if you're just doing it for willpower. Do Mythics need it? Usually not. They have quite high. Akechi and Agnes both have 5, and you're usually running something like Holy Rosary, which puts you at 6. And spending charges is quite a hefty cost. You don't want to remove your Shivering or Rite of Seeking. What is it called? I mean, sure, if you're running Alchemist Transmutation, you could take those. But do you really want to include a card just to combo with another skill card? Probably not. Sure, this card gets much better in Akechi, who has extra charges to spare, but yeah, I don't think the Mystics need that much willpower icon. It might be good as a one-off, like to boost an uncertain test. Yeah. Jim doesn't like it because I don't think Jim runs that many assets with charges on them. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, he's always running the grotesque statue, but you don't want to spend stuff on the grotesque statue when you're playing this, so it's a hard card to justify. Because charges are usually very, very important. But yeah, one-off might not be the worst thing to try. So, scrying. So we're seeing a trend there. We're getting a skill card and then a core set card. So this is scrying. It's a mystic asset spell. Cost 1, 3 XP, has 2 intellect icons. Has fast, exhaust scrying. Spend 1 charge. Look at the top 3 of any investigator deck or encounter deck. Return them to the top in any order. If a terror or omen card among those is among the looked cards, take 1 horror. So at first glance, this card looks just like a worse version of scrying. So what's the difference? Well, you have to take horror if you draw terror or omen, and that's it. I think it's bad. Let's continue. No, I'm kidding. No. So the key difference here is that this is a fast action compared to the original scrying, which it's an action. So that'll save you 3 actions on top, like immediately. This also lets you be able to do it. Yeah, I don't know if it really matters if you can do it in other windows. Yeah, I know Norman. I made a video who I was completely off because I didn't know his classes, but Norman can take up to level 5 Mystic cards, I believe. So him taking this is super good in Norland. Norman? Norland? No, it's Norman, right? Yeah, Norman. Yeah, Norman probably wants this because he can see the top card. Blah blah blah. I mean, you have this card now, which Terror or Omen card. I don't know how many Terror or Omen cards there is in the encounter deck. It's probably shifting from scenario to scenario. I'm not a fan of scrying, the original one, usually because it takes so long to play. But like in a 3-player game, this might actually not be too bad of inclusion. Then you could rearrange the encounter deck so that the what is it called? The Guardian always gets the enemy, and the others can get whatever they can handle at that time. In Agnes, it's probably it's good in Agnes and in Akechi, because Agnes, if she takes the horror, she'll shoot something, and Akechi gets another charge. So yeah, they both probably like it. Wayland. So Survivor, breaking the streak of cards. So this is not a skill card. Survivor event tactic. Costs 3 and has 2 agility icon. Choose an exhausted non-elite enemy at your location and test agility X, where X is the enemy's evade value. If successful, defeat that enemy. So this is like an insta-kill card. So it's basically you have to exhaust it twice. Once to make it exhaust, and that's usually the easiest, just to evading it. And then you have to do this too. So probably best played in Wendy. Can Sefina take it? No, she can't. So who can take this? It's the red ones. Yeah, the only ones who can take this, I think, are the 3 survivor, Wendy, Peter, and the grave guy. I'm blanking out. What is his name? William, right? William. And William and Pete aren't the fastest, and Ming can take it. How fast is Ming? No, she's super slow. So I think this card is, you can only have it in like Wendy right now. You'll be able to use it. So due to that, it's not a super good card. So since it's so limited who can take it and use it reliable. But in Wendy, it's super good. If you're running something like Peter, Sylvester, to get up to 5 agility, and then you're probably pitching in something, then you could probably easily pass these to evade test every time. And then you're killing anything non-elite for 3 resources. You can use it on a little bit of spoiler for the first 2 scenarios in the Dunwich. You can use it on the Collaboration of Spare. They have 6 HP, so they take forever to kill for Wendy, but I mean, evading and then wayland it, super good. There's also really big enemies in I mentioned an unseen, who are non-elite, which this card will be very good against. So yeah, if you're playing Wendy, this card is a super good card. Wendy can't really fight, so this is her way of fighting. It's a very neat way to make evasion like what's it called, like good. Well, that's not the word I was looking for, but it's a very good card for Wendy, and that's pretty much it. I mean, you're seeing Wendy, so a chance encounter. So this is also an old card we have seen. So it's an survivor event. Costs X, which I believe is the first time we have seen a card cost X. No, Janus Pistols cost X. But except for that, I think it's the first one. So it's the second one. Cost 2 XP, willpower and agility icon. Willpower and intellect icon. Choose an ally asset with printed resource cost X in any player's discard pile. Put that asset into play under your control. So you pay X and you get an ally from anyone's graveyard. If we look at the old chance encounter, you choose an ally in any player's discard pile and put that into play, but it went away at the end of the turn. The old, or the level 0 card, really made the Red Gloved Man very good, since he was only there for 1 turn anyway. But this one lets you keep the allies. But it's a bit tricky. Who are you going to play those on? Sure, you can like William York probably doesn't want to run this, since he has a way of recurring allies anyway, since allies are always assets. So you just have to kill something to get like his Beat Cop or Beetle Sylvester back if they manage to die. So that leaves Ming, Pete, and Wendy. Sure, if you manage to kill Duke in Ashcan Pete, you can get him back. And that might actually be good. Duke only costs 2, so it's not a hefty price. You pay 2 to get Duke back. Because if Duke dies, then you're, as we said earlier, then you're going to have a hard time. But yeah, I don't know, because it'll probably be hard to play like recur stuff like Leo the Luca, because you're probably not running him yourself. Well, you could in Wendy, but if you're recurring a unique ally from a friend or another investigator, then you're then they can play their second copy of that unique ally. So it's a bit of a tricky one. I'm not really sure what the target will be for this one. Getting out a broad savior, it wouldn't be the worst thing. Yeah, it's an interesting card. A lot of old cards in this pack, like upgraded version, which I like. I like the upgraded versions. I think they give a lot of flavor to the game. Last card, and this card we have definitely seen. It's Emergency Cash, or Quiche, as they say in Down to the Flames. Maybe some podcast. It's a neutral event. It costs 0 and 3 XP. So yeah, well, let's look at the older versions. Gain 4 resources or play 4 supply tokens among assets controlled by investigator at your location, or any combination thereof. So we have the original emergency cash, which is super simple, gain 3 resources. The upgraded version for 2 XP is gain 3 resources and draw 1 card. The level 3 version is gain 4 resources. So let's stop there. So we're losing the card draw, and we're getting 1 more resources. If that would have just been it, this would have been a much worse situation. Because cards are more worth than resources. But you can also place supply tokens on assets. So to justify how good this card is, we need to see which card has supplies. That is not right. There we go. So yeah. The cards that will probably be maybe useful is first aid, wouldn't be the worst thing. Now we have the upgrade version. For a flashlight, sure, who hasn't run out of a flashlight? You don't have to take all 4 of them. You could take like maybe 3 resources and 1 supply ammo for the flashlight, or 2. Lockpick, maybe. Lockpick is super good, but I found that they usually break. But you can use it on Strange Illusion, and that's probably where it will be strongest. This way you can replace your Strange Illusion, as we already know. Strange Illusion is such a good card, at least the Acid Liquor. So if you're playing something like a solo Seeker, then this card combined with a Strange Illusion might be a lifesaver. Getting 4 resources is like, it's good. But I don't think you should take it if that's the only thing you're gonna use it for, because then you might as well just use the level 2 and get a card instead. So I think you definitely need something to put the supplies tokens on, and that probably will be Strange Illusion or Flashlight most of the time. Yeah, so we talked about all cards under 40 minutes. Really interesting pack. There's a lot of fun cards. There's a lot of skill cards, but skill cards are fun. I mean, shortcut level 2 is definitely, I think, the MVP. Look at all the icons in this set. There are so many willpower icons. Not a lot of. There's a lot of some combats. Yeah, so this was really interesting pack. I really like the Carcosa cycle. It has provided a lot of fun cards. I've only played. I have 2 campaigns running, so I'll definitely be excited to try all of these cards someday. But yeah, if you like this video, please leave it a like, comment, tell me your thoughts. Did I overlook something, or tell me your thoughts on cards. What cards do you think are good or bad? And until next time, see ya.